Alan, thank you. The State House Ethics Committee will now investigate a representative who recently pleaded guilty to violating Maine's clean election law. Last week, Representative Randall Hall was sentenced to 100 hours of community service after being indicted on 10 forgery charges last year. Today, House Speaker Ryan Fecteau said he is now calling on the investigation because Hall has not yet submitted his resignation from the House. With 5 days to go to the primary, Democratic gubernatorial candidate Hannah Pingree has now unveiled her education reform plan.
As Phil Hirschhorn reports, Pingree's also telling Democratic voters she has the best chance of winning in November.
I am a mom who knows how to get things done, and with your help, I'm going to win on Tuesday.
Hannah Pingree is running on her record as a former state legislator and House Speaker and a top aide to Governor Janet Mills.
We led the country in heat pump deployment. We helped communities recover from storm events. We have weatherized many homes. We have built lots and lots of affordable housing, but of course we have much more to do.
Pingree's closing argument is that in a three-way race with a Republican and an independent gubernatorial candidate in the fall, she's the most electable Democrat.
Because it's not just an important election that I win, it's a really important election that we all win on the issues that matter so much to Maine's future. That we continue to take action on climate. We bring down costs for Maine's families. We build the housing that will keep young people in the state of Maine. We fight back against this president. So I think
today, Pingree, a mother of two teens who once chaired her local school board, outlined her education plan at her Portland campaign headquarters.
Every child in Maine deserves an excellent public education, regardless of where they live.
Her plan would make free full-day pre-K available to every 4-year-old whose family wants it, refocus elementary school curricula on core reading and math skills, and reduce screen time. Establish a $100 million loan fund for school construction and repairs, expedite the increase in minimum teacher pay to $50,000 in the next 2 years, not 3, and index the salary to inflation, and accelerate opportunities for other professionals to become certified teachers.
My goal is both simple and ambitious. I want Maine to be a national leader in educational excellence, not in one area, all across the board. In literacy, in math, in critical thinking, in workforce development, in student engagement.
Outside the classroom, Pingree says she wants to see more work-based learning, including state-subsidized, employer-paid internships and apprenticeships. She said every high school graduate should have not only a diploma, but a plan. In Portland, Phil Hirschhorn for CENTER Maine.
And as we follow the candidates for Maine's 2nd Congressional District, we caught up with 2 of those Democrats today. CENTER Maine's Alex Haskell joins us now with the details on that. Hi, Alex.
Hi, Amanda. Hi, Brian. Well, let's start with the former congressional staffer Jordan Wood speaking in Lewiston. Wood unveiled what he calls his signature plan to address Maine's housing crisis if elected to Congress. The plan focuses on 4 key areas. Wood wants to make it less attractive for hedge funds to buy single-family homes by eliminating certain tax advantages. He also wants to speed up housing construction with greater federal investment in training programs for more skilled tradespeople. Wood says he would push for stronger protections for renters and first-time home buyers, including anti-rent gouging measures. Finally, he wants to direct more federal funds toward rural Maine communities. I asked Wood why he believes he's the strongest Democrat to take on Republican candidate and former Governor Paul LePage in November.
I'm the only candidate in this primary, but also compared to Paul LePage, that's actually worked in Congress. Number one issue on this campaign is getting big money and corporate money out of our politics because they have a stranglehold on this system. And that's why I lead with reform, because I believe we must fix that issue first so that we can deliver on housing and health care and child care reforms.
Wood was joined by Lewiston Mayor Carl Shaleen, who is backing Wood's campaign. You can see more of his plan on our website and mobile app. Meanwhile, one of Wood's rivals in the CD2 primary, State Auditor Matthew Dunlap, is raising questions about Paul LePage's residency. We know that since leaving the Blaine House in 2019, LePage's primary residence has been in Florida, a home there with his wife Ann. However, the couple summers in Maine, where Mrs. LePage works as a waitress. CENTER Maine has learned from the the Flagler County, Florida tax appraiser's office that the LePages did claim Florida's $50,000 homestead exemption every year since 2019, except this year, 2026. That includes 2022, when LePage ran for governor against Janet Mills. We also know that LePage is currently renting an apartment in Augusta in the 2nd Congressional District. Dunlap argues LePage is trying to have it both ways.
He wants out-of-state tax breaks. He wants the gated community and the heated pool and the golf course. And then he wants Mainers to send him to Congress to represent us, while he's been telling the state of Florida, in writing, every year for 8 years, that he lives somewhere else.
So from what we know, Dunlap is exaggerating a little bit here. It's been 7 years, not 8. And to be clear, a $50,000 exemption on the LePage's property value means a roughly $600 to $800 savings on their annual Florida tax bill, according to the tax appraiser's office. And in a statement to News Center Maine, Brent Littlefield, longtime advisor to LePage, says in part, Matt Dunlap is so desperate for attention on the eve of his primary that he is falsely attacking Governor LePage. Paul and Ann are Maine residents. In studio, Alex Haskell, News Center Maine.
Democratic U.S. Senate candidate Graham Platner responding now to new investigative story about him and his ex-girlfriends published this afternoon by the New York Times. The article describes how 3 of the women in the Times words found his behavior occasionally intimidating and disturbing. The most critical woman, Lindsay Fifield, who says she dated Platner in Washington from 2013 to 2015, more than 10 years ago, told the Times Platner had regularly grabbed her by her shoulders, sometimes hard enough to leave marks, once yanked her out of a taxi by her wrist, and another time twisted her arm behind her back and shoved her into a bedroom and held the door closed so she couldn't leave. The Times reported Platner strongly disputes any claims of physical intimidation or altercations.
In a written statement to News Center Maine, Platner said, quote, "Throughout this campaign, I've been open about what was a very dark period of my life where I struggled with undiagnosed PTSD, too often self-medicated with alcohol, and was a far from perfect boyfriend. I take responsibility for all of that and wish I had been better. Any characterization beyond that is false and I believe politically motivated. I'm not proud of who I was then, but I am proud of the work I've done since and the movement we are building in Maine," end quote. As for the ex-girlfriend who described Platner's behavior, we quoted, named Lindsay Fifield, his campaign said, quote, "Let's be very clear. This is a lifelong GOP operative who's dedicated her career to electing Republicans," end quote. We'll be right back.